Hi, it's Laura here from LWF Physiotherapy. So this is a short video of some of the principles and the basic fundamentals of Pilates. I think Pilates sometimes gets a bad rep in terms of it can be quite complicated and there's so many things to think about. So hopefully with this video I can give you a bit of clarity in what the main focus is when you're doing your exercises, your Pilates based exercises. I have been a physio for years, and what I find about Pilates is it's basically cop on, stop cheating kind of exercise. Our body is incredible at making things easy for ourselves. So, you might go to the gym and you pumping out a few squats and push-ups and planks and so on, but without you realizing, your body kind of adapts into a position that it feels a little bit more comfortable in, even though you're doing great exercise, but it kind of is like, I can do 5 minutes of plank position. So Pilates is really about getting into the best optimum position to get the most out of your exercise. So we don't do as many repetitions because we're thinking about our technique and we're really trying to optimally work our muscles in that exercise positioning to get the most out of the exercise. So I've often hear, oh God, Laura, I can't get the breathing, and then I'm trying to do the exercise, and then I realize I haven't breathed in about 5 minutes. You have, your lungs kick into the brains, breathe. So for me, I'm going to try to break this down to be quite simple. There is quite a lot of principles of Pilates, but the first thing I want you to think about is your spine position, okay? Optimally, we're trying to create a good lengthened spine. So that is kind of from the crown of your head right down towards your sacrum. And if we take that into segments, I'm going to turn to the side here, and we think about your lumbar spine first of all. Everyone has different postures and so on. So sometimes we can be a little bit archy, and this is the opposite to me now. I don't like this position very much. We could be sometimes quite flat in your spine. So we're trying to recreate just a little bit of a curve in the spine, and that would be referred to as your neutral spine. So most of our exercises, we would really love you to be working in that position. But then there is the occasion that if you are quite arching the spine, and when we're doing kind of legs off the ground, it might be worth to even flatten the spine a little bit more onto the mat, okay? If we're creeping up now towards the thoracic spine, what we're aiming for here, the cue I would always give is to think about your shoulder blades in towards the spine and away from your ears, okay? And then the last thing then is thinking about your head and neck, okay? So we're always thinking about lengthening the neck, and the cue I'd often give is the crown of your head being pulled away from your shoulders. So you're always lengthening. And one of the most common things that we would see in our exercises as we are progressing, making things more difficult, is the shoulders to start rounding forward and the head will start poking forward. And it's our job as the instructors to constantly remind shoulders down, head in line. So we're always thinking about elongating the spine. Even if we're in a sitting position for the roll back exercise, we're thinking about elongating the spine, okay? And the second thing you want to consider is activating or tightening your core muscles. And geez, there's much reference to core muscles and what are they and where are they and how do I do it and so on. So your core muscles are two muscle groups: your pelvic floor, which is your base muscle of the pelvis, and then your transverse abdominal muscles with your multifidus that go around your spine, okay? So we're thinking about lifting the floor and pulling in the muscles in around the spine, okay? So the best way to try to cue you with that is tighten up as if you're about to let wind out and you don't want that to happen. And then the next thing is, just if you think about your belly button, is draw your belly button back and towards the spine. So the instructors in LWF, we generally refer to it as activate your core or stabilize the abdominal muscles. So that's what we're meaning, just a little bit of a lift through the floor of the muscles and drawing in towards the spine. And I'll show you when I demonstrate a couple of things on the mat, some of the cues that you can think about with that, okay? The next principle is breathing, and this is the one everyone absolutely hates. Inhale, exhale, window, inhale, window, exhale. As I said to you, the main focus is you're going to breathe. Your body kicks in to tell you to breathe. If you are a beginner and new to these exercises, for me, I would just say, just calm down with the breathing, okay? Really, your main focus is just getting into a really good position, getting those core muscles just a little bit lifted, and then doing the exercise. The breathing comes over time. Our general rule of thumb is we exhale on the effort. So for example, if you were thinking of like an abdominal crunch, you're inhaling to prepare, and as you're lifting up, you're exhaling out, okay? And then releasing, bring it back down. What I often say with people who are starting Pilates, and maybe the instructor is saying inhale, exhale, and do this and do that, and you're like, oh, is if there's a repetitions, just say we're doing an exercise for 8 to 10 repetitions. Get your core set and get the spine to good position. Do a few of the repetitions, and as you feel, yeah, I have the flow of this now, then try bringing in the breathing. Don't be thinking about every single stepping stone before, the exercise, because it does get a bit overwhelming at times. So really, I think the breathing is, if you feel comfortable with that movement, then try to listen out for the breathing technique. But remember, you breathe anyway, okay? And then this is the kind of the weird thing, and this is the main thing for me, is the exercise, the movement is the last thing that you want to be considering, okay? So, which is probably different than if you haven't ever done Pilates before and you're in the gym and you're looking at an instructor and they're telling you what to do. You're just looking at them and you're just copying what they're doing, aren't you? So the movement is really the latter thing that you're thinking of. So you're just getting your spine set, can I engage the muscles? Now what the movement is, and you're applying your movement around, am I setting my posture still? Am I breathing? Okay, hope that has clarified a couple things. I'm going to just set up my mat now and we will take you through 2 exercises that I guess are fundamentals, or kind of stepping stone exercises, and I'll talk you through how you can think about those principles with those exercises. So the first thing to consider is an exercise that we do quite often is the 4-point kneel. And the first thing you'll be asked to is get into good spine position, okay? So you might do a little bit of rolling forward and backwards. So if you're looking at my position right now, a good spine position is to have a little bit of a curve in the spine. So you're thinking about your sacrum here. You might think about balancing a glass of water there. My shoulder's in line with the wrist. Your knee is underneath your hip. I'm going to curl up my feet for this exercise. So again, your instructor will take you through kind of how to get yourself set into a good position. And then you're looking at, you're looking down between your hands. So you're thinking about the length into your neck, okay? So the exercise I'm going to ask you to do is lift your right leg and the left arm away. So right leg, left arm. Before I do that, I'm going to inhale to breathe in. I'm going to engage my pelvic floor. I'm going to draw my lower abdominal muscles in towards the spine. And now I'm going to lengthen and stretch, reach. Okay, so again, the movement is the last thing I'm considering here. Now, so the reason why I've chosen this exercise to demonstrate with you, because when we talk about the principles, I always have this exercise as nearly a test exercise. So we talk through positioning and so on. And what people will do is look into the position, and then I go and lengthen, stretch, reach, and then you'll see arching. You can see movement, and basically what we're programmed to do, which is basically what has she asked me to do, okay, off I go without any thought, is back into the exercise. So again, the whole focus of Pilates is moving your body around this area. So this is keeping stable. Your movement comes after that stability, okay? So as I'm lengthening away here, I'm not thinking about what my arms and legs are doing. I'm thinking about how far can I go and keeping my spine stable. If I go any further, I probably will come out of that position. My muscles have disengaged and I'm not working those areas anymore. So again, in your starting position, you're getting that spine lengthened, a little bit of a core contraction, and then you're going to stretch, reach away, and bring it back in. Stretch, reach away, and bring it back in, making the focus on controlling this area. The next exercise, this can be a bit of a challenging one. And we do a lot of these exercises, like our stepping stone exercise is our tabletop series. So again, your instructor will probably cue you out, but the best cue, actually Claire, one of our instructors, gave me was think of a blueberry underneath your spine, and you don't want to squish the blueberry, and you don't want to have that blueberry pop. So sorry if you can't see my spine here, I'll try that again. So you don't want to squish the blueberry, and you don't want the blueberry to pop. So you just want to have that blueberry there, so you can see there's a little bit of a space underneath my spine. Now, the mat is great because it gives you feedback through your spine. So in that position, my upper bodies, I want to feel those shoulder blades against the mat. I'm going to lengthen my hands towards my heels to lengthen the shoulders away from the ears, and the head sits in a lovely position anyway. Sometimes if you're quite flexed in the neck, you might want to put a little head cushion underneath your head here. So in a second, guys, I'm going to bring my legs up to a tabletop position. I'll show you what that is. So I'm thinking about my blueberry, okay? I'm going to engage that pelvic floor, draw the lower abdominal muscles in. Inhale, breath in. I'm going to take one leg up. Stay. And I'm going to take the second leg up. Okay, so again, as the second leg lifted there, my focus was keeping that blueberry in place by working those muscles to keep my spine set. Oftentimes, what happens with this exercise is easy, leg up, yeah, no problem there. Second leg weighs heavy. I'm going to move this arm out so you can see, and tighten in my top, and you'll pop. So you'll overarch the spine, and see how my trunk has moved as well. So really, the exercise is lost on where you want to work. So the principle here is one leg up, keep that blueberry in place, take the second leg up. So this here should remain stable. And when we're moving on to do some exercise like the toe tap series, we're keeping this stable. I'm not arching and bringing myself back up, arching and bringing myself back up, keeping that area stable. Leg down and leg down.